Welcome. My name is Noah Blocker-Glynn, Associate Dean here for Admission and Pre-College and Continuing Education at the Hartt School. And on behalf of all of us, we're just thrilled to be offering what is our very first panel session remotely for the Hartt School. And we've got quite a lineup here in store for our accepted students. And we'll have lots of time to be able to talk and do some Q&A, learn a bit more about the dance program on a deeper dive of what the Hartt School has to offer in terms of collaboration and performance and the work outside the studio and beyond. So before we proceed, I just want to say once again, congrats to all of our accepted students. We're so pleased to be welcoming you to the session today. And I think we're expecting about 11 or so. And as I understand it, nearly half of you have deposited. So go Hawks, welcome to the Hartt School. We're so pleased to have you. Yeah, this is so wonderful. You can see, I'm guessing in gallery view, this wonderful collage of beautiful faces, handsome faces, you name it. This is the faculty and staff, or members of the faculty and staff of the Hartt School. We have a couple of students here joining us today, Ane and Kylie. And we have a representative, Robin James, here from our Bates University admission area. So lots of folks here on the line that can help answer some good questions. Just one little tidbit before we really dive into things. We are experiencing some significant thunderstorms here in the States. So if we happen to lose you, we will reconnect at some point. I don't know that we'll be able to do it real time here today. But fingers crossed, I'd knock on something wooden, but it's not within reach. We'll see how it goes. So without further ado, I'd like to just take a moment to go through and have each of our panelists introduce themselves. Just maybe a name, your title, sort of what your role you are here for our students, what year you are in your program major. And if you could just tell us one thing that you love most about the Hartt School, that would be wonderful. So I'm going to go in screen order here, at least as it appears on my screen. So Pam, do you want to lead us off?
Wow. Pam Rosso. I've been with the Hartt School for several years, and I'm a sports nutritionist. I've been a dietitian for 37 years. I hate to admit it, but the truth be told, and I work with the dancers. I don't know if I expound right now, but I will tell you the one thing that I like. So I've already told you how long I've been a dietitian, and I deal with athletes. I've done a lot in my years as a dietitian, as a nutritionist. The energy and just, it's so much fun. I can just, when I'm at the Hartt School, it's of all the things I do, and you have to remember, like, I work at the Children's Hospital, I teach at the University of Hartford in regular classes. I am a coach, I'm a certified coach at about 100 kids in high school. But the most fun is for me to go and speak with individually or in a group with the Hartt dancers. They just have an energy that no other group I have that I work with has. So I'll pass the baton to the next person to introduce themselves.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pam, again for being here, and again, welcome. Amy, you want to take it away?
Hello, nice to be here with everyone. My name is Amy Manfredi. I am the administrator of the dance division, and I'm also adjunct faculty. I teach dance pedagogy to our sophomore teaching majors, and I also run an after-school program at the University of Hartford Magnet School that some of our interns participate in. And what I really love about being at Hartt is, well, I'm an alum also, but I really love just helping and guiding students throughout their 4 years with us. And I also love providing support to our faculty. It's a group effort. It's hailing here, so my dog is barking. So, nice to meet you all. Sorry.
Thanks, Amy. And hi, Henry. That's the dog's name, right? Awesome. Fantastic. Robin, I think you're next up on the screen lineup here.
Okay, my name's Robin James. I'm an assistant director of admission at University of Hartford. I specifically work with the Hartt School to do all the academic reviews for all the students. So if you guys have any specific questions regarding admission, the process, or anything that isn't specific Hartt related, residential life, anything like that, I can answer that for you. I'm also an alum, so I've got some extra insight into University of Hartford as well.
Fantastic. Thanks, Robin. Katrina.
Okay, I'm Katrina. I'm adjunct faculty. At the Hartt School, I work mostly with the freshmen and the sophomores a lot, and then off and on, and then we cap it off your senior year. I have a class with you that's one of my favorites that spring semester. My favorite thing about the Hartt School is the balance and the combination of technical rigor with health and wellness. The two don't have to exist separately. They can exist in the same moment. And the faculty there, we all believe in that really seriously and work with students in that way. And there's not many dance departments that I could work for, but this one I really, really can.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And again, welcome, Katrina. We're happy to have you here. Let's see, next up, let's start with Ane, one of our students today.
Hello, my name's Ane Arietta. I am a senior ballet pedagogy major right now at the Hartt School. So it's my 4th year, almost about to graduate. And I think my favorite thing about the Hartt School is like the personal relationship you develop with all of the faculty, even the adjunct faculty like Katrina and Pam. Like you can develop such an individual relationship with each of the faculty because we are on the smaller side of a program. You're not just a face, you're not even just a name. You're like, they know everything about you, and it's just super personal, and you really get to work with the faculty in such a personal way that I think separates us from other schools a lot.
Fantastic. Thanks, Ane. And Kylie, over to you.
Hi, hold on, did I?
Maybe having just a little bit of a mute problem there. I'm not sure.
There you are.
Okay. And I guess it's hard to pick my favorite thing about the Hartt School. But I really enjoy being able to learn, like gain so much knowledge from our wonderful faculty and being able to acquire such a wide variety of nice long career in dance, but also by our other amazing dance majors and our really supportive faculty at the same time while we're on a journey here at the Hartt School. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kylie. And last but certainly not least, we have Stephen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Stephen Peer, and I'm the artistic director of the dance division. I've been there 10 years. This is my 10th year. It's hard to believe that much time has flown by. And I think my favorite thing about the Hartt School and the university by extension is the culture that we've created and that we work really hard to maintain. It's a culture of, as you've heard from some of our other panelists here, it's a culture of creativity, it's a culture of support, and it's also a culture of challenge. So we find just the right blend of that in the sense that we challenge every dancer in our program to be their best, but we don't leave it at that. We also support them on how to become their best. That's our job as faculty. And I would have to say that the same is true of the faculty. We challenge ourselves every day to be the best faculty we can be, and we support each other a lot in that endeavor. So that kind of culture permeates the whole division, and you'll feel that the moment you step in. Some of you who came for the auditions at the Hartt School have already experienced a little bit about that. You know how unique we are because of that audition process. It's just, it's very real and it's very welcoming, and that's not a show. That's how we work every day. So culture was my number one takeaway from the Hartt School.
Thank you so much, Stephen. And thanks again to all of our panelists for being here today to talk a bit more about the Hartt School and the University of Hartford. For our guests that are here, you'll notice on the right-hand side of your screen, there should be a Q&A section there. Go ahead and put any questions that you have there, things that you want to know a little bit more about, and we'll take them sort of as we go along. In terms of the overarching goal of this panel discussion, this session is to share information. And before we started today, I had sent our panelists just really like the four kind of key points that we really wanted to isolate out today. And that's really to be just really organic about all of this and to just learn from one another and get to know the Hartt School and the University of Hartford in greater detail for our accepted students. We want it to be informative and responsive and mostly just fun. As Stephen pointed out, the culture here is really vibrant, and it's because folks support one another and are accessible and open and willing to have a good time and share joy. So we're looking forward to doing that today. I'd like to start with some of our discussions surrounding our work outside the studio. So of course, you're going to be spending a lot of time as a dance student inside the studio, right? And inside the classroom, right? And in the many forms that a classroom takes. Right now, it seems to be a lot of remote interaction. Obviously, you're all experiencing that across the country and the world. But the time outside the studio is just as important as the time inside the studio. And we've got Pam Raza, our nutritionist, and Katrina Holly here, Pilates and conditioning instructor, to just talk a little bit about the work outside the studio and how that supports the incredible work that's happening inside the studio. So Pam, do you mind leading us off a bit just about the work that you do as a nutritionist and maybe some examples of interactions that you have with the Hartt students on a regular basis?
Sure. Not sure where to start. I do have the opportunity to meet with the students as they start off in September. And I also will have some lunch and learns. I have a component with kinesiology, the kinesiology class. But here is what I always hope to encourage and develop. And that is when there was a discussion about like the wellness, the piece of art that I like to really enhance. And it is up to you whether you really want to take opportunity with me or not. But a dancer, it's interesting because I work with physicians, I always have, and they will stand back and say, like, they look at the body and they can tell like the dancers are truly best athletes, you know, just in terms of like the structure and their body. But so with that, it's like the elements of nutrition are so key. And if someone's a vegetarian, you know, you want to make sure you're complementing your proteins right. Stamina, building muscle, all of this is interconnected with what you're doing in the studio, but your intake. However, I don't like to think of myself as just the person that talks about food. There's sleep. There's elements of just simply being organized, like, why do you crave sugar so much? I mean, there's all kinds of, after all my years that I've told you, been a dietitian, I've sought things that are deeper layered that can help you understand how your body works. Now, as you come into your first year, there's so much going on at once. And that's where, if you choose, you can contact me, you know, on your phone. We can be in touch via email. I had some students that I was texting them because they were challenged with a couple of things. And I said, I will stay connected with you to work through particular issues that they had. And again, I won't hover over people, but it's a resource that you could use constantly or a resource that you may feel you don't need. Sometimes if, you know, I reach out to people when I think that, or I may sense people asking questions or something, they may want a little more from me, but I won't get in your way, but I'm a definite resource at heart that you could use as much or as little as you want. And it's important. because I'm not just talking about fruits and vegetables. There's a whole nother element of the mind and how the body connects and the gut and the brain. And I don't get so, I don't want to say I don't get so scientific about it, but I help you understand like and how your form can do. And the other little thing I'll point out is I try, not 100% successful, but they have, obviously dining halls on campus. They have what's called the backstage at the Hartt School. And I have tried to work with making things change, improve, bring in new items. Because actually I kind of strategize with the director because she's like this triathlete, and I always tell her that the dancers are working harder than she is, and so anyway, so I always kind of get her soft spot in terms of like, there's athletes on campus, but I always remind her that no one is really, needs more attention than our dancers. And I guess I'm talking a lot, so I will stop. Yeah, I'm a person you can do a little bit with or a lot with. And I really, again, you're my favorite group. So there's never too much of the dancers that I can get to help. All right, enough. Enough for now.
Thank you, Pam, so much for that. And that's element of the body and nutrition. I mean, all of it's just so critical, right? And I think one great thing about the Hartt School is that we're always thinking about the whole artist, right? Always thinking about the whole human and how we enhance and can help to guide and develop each student individually. I wonder, just Anne or Kylie, have either of you had experience working with Pam that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like she said, she makes herself available to all the students, and she'll have one-on-ones with students if you ask for it. So she's definitely like a really good resource that we have. If anyone is struggling with anything, she's like super approachable and everything. She's, in addition to everyone on the faculty, it's just so great to have like experts in so many different areas. So Pam is just a great expert in her area. So yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Katrina, do you want to take it away from your standpoint?
So I work in the faculty, and I'm not teaching technique classes per se, but I'm on the side of technique classes, and I'm really working with the dancers to condition their bodies to do what they need to do. And my background is Pilates and Laban movement analysis, dance as well. But I like to say I'm the scientist. One of the scientists in the department is that the artists come to me and they say, I need to do this thing. And I'm like, well, if your femur bone isn't going to be able to fit in your hip socket, it's not going to do this thing you need to do. And we work that way. And so, and one of my very favorite things to tell people in the Hartt School is science is kind of just catching up to dance with some of the stuff that's coming out in studies. Dancers have known a lot about their body for many, many years, and a lot of the things that we know and feel and have explored are just becoming evidence-based. So it's a really exciting time in this field, and it's exciting to share the tips and tricks and things that I've learned in the movement practices that are science-based and bring them back to the artistry of it. And then some students have also become certified in Pilates with me and are able to find a day job right away, because that's always the practical part of the world. And so Anne is one of those people. She's a great teacher. And so there's many different ways in which I work with the students in that sense. I'm often caught in the hallway to answer questions in between classes.
I'd like to pick up on that Katrina just brought up, that idea of a career in dance and all the facets that can take, because that's another thing that our program focuses very much on, and that is the reality of the profession, of what it takes to be a professional dancer. And it's not just a lot of pirouettes and a really good jump and a beautiful line. We educate them in ways that they can sustain a lifelong career, whether that's through the ballet pedagogy, through the Pilates certification, through getting performing arts management minor, all the other minors that are available in the university. So that career aspect is really forefront on our mind. And we've done a lot of thinking and a lot of retooling of our program to make sure that our program is addressing the needs of a career in the 21st century. So there's a lot of the past traditions that we bring with us, but they're always focused on how are those applicable to today's dancers, to you all, not to the world that we grew up in or worked in, but your world, the world you're going into as professionals. And Katrina's Pilates certification is a beautiful example of that.
Wonderful. I think before we move on to the next sort of topic point, I think we need to welcome one of our panelists, Katy Stevenson. So we determined that every panelist had to say your name, your title, and your favorite kind of ice cream. But what you love most about the Hartt School would be great.
Oh my goodness. First of all, let me apologize. I was having some technical difficulties. I could see you and hear you, but I wasn't anywhere on the screen. So my name is Katy Stevenson Olay. I've sort of acquired a nickname by the students, KSN, because my name is too long. And it's sort of stuck. I kind of like it. Let's see. I teach composition, and I also teach contemporary dance forms and dance for camera. And favorite thing about the Hartt School, I just really have to say the sense of community between the dancers, the sense of community between the Hartt School and the university, and the sense of community between the BFA program and the community program or the pre-professional program. And it just, you walk down the hall and you say hello to people and they say hello to you. In my office, people walk by and they're singing and they're chatting, and it's just such a wonderful sense of community. And I think that's the thing I love most about Hartt.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And that echoes, so many of our panelists' descriptions about what's so great about the Hartt School. So we're not telling you lies, I promise, for those of you that are listening in today. Just again, a reminder that there's a Q&A box over to the right-hand side. If you have questions at all, anything you'd like for us to dive a little deeper into, toss it in there and we'll take a look at it. So moving on to sort of Hartt's academic and other resources. Amy, would you mind giving us a bit of an overview about what some of the other resources are that are available to our Hartt dance students?
Well, there's a lot of resources that support our amazing curriculum with the ballet pedagogy degree and the dance performance degree. Within those two degrees, there's a lot of opportunities to not just study dance academics and dance technique classes. A lot of our students have the ability to take on a minor or two in other areas. I know that Kylie is a business or performing arts management, Kylie.
Business management.
Business management minor. But our curriculum is designed to not only support the dancer as an artist, but to support them as a student and develop their lifelong love for learning. So we all know about our performance degree, our ballet pedagogy degree. The ballet pedagogy degree is like a gem. It's what makes our program really unique. It's like, I like to call it something like a double major, because the students who are matriculated as a ballet pedagogy major not only take their pedagogy courses and student teaching internships, but they also participate in technique classes, ballet, modern, and repertory ensembles along with the performance major. So they're getting the best of both worlds there. But when I was touching on minors, a lot of our students have minored in performing arts management, business, art history, education, psychology, criminal justice. So they have a lot of opportunities to make use of the other colleges that are on the University of Hartford campus and interact with those other faculty and students. So as all of our students are moving through their 4 years as a dance major, they're not doing that on their own. They're not figuring it out on their own. They are advised. So as a freshman, you come in, and this is a new function, but all freshmen are assigned a first-year advisor who stays with them throughout their freshman year, gets them set up with their classes and other services on campus that they may need to use or need access to. And then after the freshman year, during their sophomore, junior, and senior year, they are assigned to a dance faculty member or myself as an advisor, and we map out their curriculum for their major and maybe their minor, and we guide them towards graduation. So it's a lot of work, but we have a great network of resources to help students, and our program is very unique. And I wanted to mention one thing that makes us really unique is the Ballet Pedagogy program, but the internships that take place in the Ballet Pedagogy program. So our students have the opportunity to teach ballet classes to children who are in pre-ballet, or to adults who are all the way up, taking adult classes. And that's through the Hartt Community School of Dance. They also have opportunities to participate in internships. It's a program that I run at the University of Hartford Magnet School. So it's for first and second graders. They're getting a real in-classroom experience, which Kylie has been one of my interns before. They have that opportunity, but they also get to experience internships in the community, in programs such as Spectrum in Motion Theater, which I believe Ane has fulfilled the internship there. So that is really a program that helps inner city youth thrive. And that's ages probably 4, 5 to high school. So it's just I don't know. Ask questions. We're here to answer them. Nice to have you here.
Yeah. Well, funny you should say that. We've got a question that just came in here from Grace, who is asking if dance students are offered partnering all 4 years, and if so, is that restricted to performance or pedagogy, or is it all of the above?
All the above. Regardless if you're dance performance or ballet pedagogy. They're participating in all the classes. So that's all ballet, point, partnering, variations, men's classes, Martha Graham technique, Jose Limon technique, Martha contemporary dance forms, and repertory. So you may not register for them like the performance majors are, but you can register for those sections as dance elective credits. But every semester you are participating in those classes. Ane, do you have something to share?
Yeah, I was going to say one of the reasons why I chose to do the pedagogy track was because nothing gets taken away from you. So you still do everything that the performance majors do. You just have extra classes on top. So you still get like full everything else, all the classes.
What's unique about the pedagogy program is that it's a BFA in ballet pedagogy. It's not a BA as all other programs in the United States are. It's a BFA, so that you're doing all of the studio work, all the performance work, all the preparation as a fine artist, that's the FA, that you would do if you were a performance major. And then on top of that, you get all the internships and the theoretical training that you need for the teaching. So that's what makes it unique.
Our program really sets our students up for success after graduation, where they are going out and they're collaborating with other artists. They're entering not only the dance world, but the work field as well. So Ane's a senior and Kylie's a junior. So Ane, how are you feeling? Prepared?
I'm feeling good. It's definitely, I mean, everything that happened in the past month has kind of like thrown everything into weird fiasco, but I 100% feel prepared for whatever is going to happen next. I was a completely different person, not only as a freshman, but if I'm thinking back to high school when I was like thinking about coming here, I'm just so happy with how I've grown throughout the 4 years, because I'm a completely different dancer now. And one thing I wanted to say was, I think someone mentioned something about like all of the different, you take ballet, modern, contemporary, and you really become like a very well-rounded dancer. So you're taking, even if you come in as a ballerina or you come in as a modern dancer, you really get all of it. And then you can graduate and still be very ballet or something like that. But you're just offered so much. And in today's dance world, there's not really a company that just does one style. Everyone's almost doing everything. So you really get prepared in all styles, which I love.
Fantastic. I wonder, that actually just sparked a bit of a question for me. I thought maybe that some of our accepted students might want to know a bit more about in terms of career preparation and networking and making those connections with the industry. What sort of work do you all do as faculty and staff to ensure that students have those opportunities presented?
Well, great question and a great follow-up to Anne speaking, because this Anne has been taking class. No, no air quotes on that. She's been taking class with the Ryu Dance Company in New York from the safety and isolation of her apartment. And that's something that we set up and that we allowed Anne as a senior to, instead of taking our classes at the university or our system of classes, we set it up so that she could take class with Pascal and Joyce and get some really wonderful classes, but also get in front of these directors and choreographers. And there are other examples of that with other students that we've taken and introduced into the field. If you look at our faculty bios, you'll see a lot of really impressive work that those teaching artists have done in their own careers. And that doesn't stop when they come to the Hartt School to teach. They use those connections for the benefit of our students, so that their network is added to the existing network of the rest of the faculty, and all of that is given to our students. So just by virtue of being a student and a graduate of our program, you're already starting in the field with a very extensive network. And one of the other teachers or myself or somebody is going to pick up the phone and make a phone call for you, or send an email, or introduce you to a director who's having an audition, and just help open some doors. It's going to be your work and your talent and ability that will get you through the door and will get you the job, but we are very committed to helping our students knock on doors.
Wonderful. Yeah, let's take Katie and then Anne, is that right?
Yes, I just wanted to also mention the senior solos. One of the many projects that seniors take on is that they have to research three professional choreographers, and hopefully select one of them to work with on their senior concert, in that they commission a solo from this professional choreographer, and they work with this choreographer one-on-one, spending time in the studio with to get our little fledglings to get out into the world and ask questions and find out what kind of work they're interested in and who they would be interested in working with beyond and after graduation, or connections that they'd like to have. And so it really is a great way for them to go out there and sort of test the waters, and then work with a professional choreographer and get that experience, make that connection with that choreographer, so that when they leave, they know somebody or several people by the time they graduate, that hopefully they might have an opportunity to work with them again.
That's I know, Anne, I think you had something you wanted to mention here, and then I've got a follow-up. Actually, Katie, you had a lovely segue there that I'd like to tag back onto. So please, Anne, go for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say along with what Mr. Pierce said, with what just happened just recently, when I emailed Mr. Pierce about like how Ria was having classes virtually, he immediately emailed the director, and I immediately, as soon as I entered the class the next day, the director like called me out and knew exactly who I was because of that connection that Steven had made that night before. So that's just an example of like the faculty has so many connections into the outside world, and each one of them had their own amazing career. And so it's pretty amazing how we can use those connections to develop connections outside of the dance world. I'm just kind of like starting to do that more and more. And in addition to what, sorry, I almost said KSN, Katy was talking about with the senior solo, that does the same exact thing. So you don't leave the school still in the bubble, but you reach outside of the bubble during your 4 years, which is what you need to do.
Great. Thank you so much for that. The follow-up that occurred to me with Katy is this notion of collaboration. I mean, we are in a conservatory setting, conservatory on a university campus, and we have a vibrant music and theater program in addition to a dance program. And I wonder if there's just a couple of highlights about collaboration that we can talk about, just for a couple minutes, and then we have two questions that one's curricular in nature, and the other is really in response to this COVID-19 scenario. So I'm going to jump into both of those there. But I don't know who wants to take the collaboration bit.
Well, Katy can lead off on that because there's an aspect of there's an opportunity in her senior composition class to do some really interesting collaboration.
Yeah.
KSN, take it away.
Okay, I will. Thank you. Yes, so every spring, several of our seniors have the opportunity to collaborate with composers from the composition department. And they start in the fall working collaboratively. They meet, they sort of have this, it's sort of like a flash dating moment where they meet each other and they get to know each other's work, they share each other's work, and then go away and have longer meetings with each other. And then finally elect to make a list of who they'd like to work with. Once the selections have been made, composers and choreographers work together on a concept and sounds that the choreographer are interested in. And it's very much a conversation between the choreographer and the composer about concept and ideas. And there's a lot of back and forth of, well, what about this? And yes, I have that. And composers often come to rehearsals to get a better sense of what's happening in the studio. So it's really been a wonderful, wonderful collaboration of being able for choreographers to have original scores written for their work. And the outcome is just always really quite exciting to see happen on stage. It's one of the collaborative projects that I'm really proud of. But we have so many others. I'm sure Steven can talk more about collaboration within theater and all of that.
What's so fabulous about the idea and the practice of collaboration is that it's an expansive process. It makes you expand outside of your own thinking or even your own experience, because you're combining your experience with someone else's experience. So we have collaboration on so many levels. We have a daily collaboration with all our live musicians in classes who are playing live for classes. That's a collaborative effort. We have it with the community division when we're collaborating in either our students choreographing for some of their students' YAGP solos, whether they're working on a production with the community division, or whether it's the internships collaborating with the existing teachers, the professional teachers in the community division in their internships. That spirit of collaboration is always very much alive. We've also collaborated in the past with the theater division, several productions, music theater. One of our faculty members is also on the faculty of the music theater program, and he likes to use our dancers in his pieces when he can. He's got a piece he's choreographing and he wants some hotshot dancers. He always comes to us. We're also invited every spring to work with the opera division in their opera production, their main stage opera production, which is always a lot of fun. And those are choreographed by professional outside choreographers, which have in fact resulted in our dancers getting jobs after graduation, dancing and choreographing for operas. So that's been a huge bonus. Collaborating with the community division again on the PRISM project, which our students are really enriched by. And this is a program which works with children of differing abilities and is very rewarding for our students to get involved with. The list is practically endless. It's such an important part of a 21st century curriculum, is the idea and the practice of collaboration.
I'd like to add that Kylie is the dance director of the community division's PRISM project. So
Yeah.
and a lot of our dance majors are participants. So Kylie, if you want to share something about that program.
Kind of to jump off of like the collaborative aspect of it, it's a really amazing experience to be working. Like I work with the music director too to come up with our lessons for each week and combining, picking out our songs, what we want to do for them, a theme for our final show. So just being able to collaborate with a music education major and also sort of the like special education aspect of it in working with students with exceptionalities. And in this process, like you're getting to meet all these students outside of your major too. Like there's music ed, there's theater people, there's people that are like psychology majors and stuff too. So you're collaborating with your peers in this environment too, which is really awesome.
Wonderful. Ane?
Yeah, I just want to add to what Kylie said. Not only are we like a very strong conservatory, but we're a conservatory within a larger university. So I guess it's a little bit more informal collaboration, but like I lived with 5 other girls who were completely different majors. There's an architect, graphic design, education, business. So like you get to meet so many people and you learn from that outside. So you have like your dancers that you're with every single day, and then you also have the whole university, which there's just so many opportunities and things that you can do outside of the dance program.
I also forgot to mention one very important collaboration that we partake in quite regularly, and that is our performances are often with live orchestra. Recently we did Martha Graham's Appalachian Spring with a live orchestra. We've done a full-length Petrushka with live orchestra. We've done a whole series of, we did one of the Beethoven quartets for our collage, which is one gigantic collaboration of every division within the Hartt School performance that we do every year. So I guess you by now have figured out that we do a heck of a lot of collaborating.
Clearly, connecting and creating art with others is such a, I mean, it is what we do, right? You know, as artists. So that's wonderful. Talking a little bit about curriculum, there was a question about winter term. Maybe just a little snippet about what happens during that winter term.
Absolutely. We have a really wonderful opportunity that we present our students 2 weeks before classes start for the spring semester. We invite 2 professional choreographers in to work with our dancers as they would work in a professional company. So before they're coming in, some point in the fall semester, they've come in and they have auditioned our dancers and selected a group of them for their 2 pieces. They come in mid-January, early January, and they go to work for 2 solid weeks. We take a company class together, warm up, and the rest of the day is spent in rehearsals with those choreographers. Those pieces that are created during that time will then be presented on the spring concert. So that's a real special opportunity, again, to have that bridge into the professional world, working closely with working, active professional choreographers. One is always a contemporary ballet choreographer, and the other is a contemporary modern choreographer.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that. Sorry, lots of banging here in the background with thunderstorm going on here. Forgive the background noise. Robin, I think you're here and online. We've got a question about the COVID-19 and any adjustments to orientation and the potential start of the fall semester.
So right now, our administration is working diligently to make the tough decisions that are surrounding COVID. Any adjustments to fall semester will be communicated to students as quickly as possible. Right now, we are still planning to have fall semester as scheduled, but like I said, if we have to make a change to that, we'll make sure students know as soon as we know. As far as orientation is concerned, we're gonna have to deliver it a little differently this year. So it will be a virtual orientation. We are still gonna have 4 sessions for students to pick from. We also have a specific transfer session if there's any students that are in that, but for the most part, everything will be sort of the same. You're still going to get to meet other students. It's just going to be over the computer. We're going to have more details about how we're going to set up the virtual orientation to come. So check your emails for information on that. If you haven't registered for orientation yet, you can do that after you deposit. You can do that right online. You should get an email about it, and then usually that happens within 1 or 2 days from your deposit.
Wonderful. Thank you, Robin. Kylie.
Just wanted to add into that. I'm one of our Red Cap orientation leaders at school. So in talking about orientation and everything, like obviously it's very nerve-wracking going into college as a freshman, and not being able to meet people in person adds another element to that. So we've been discussing ways that we can add a few more additional events when we do finally come back to school, where you can meet a lot of new people. And they've also asked us Red Caps to be available online during those original orientation dates, so we can still be interacting with you, answering your questions and everything like that. And another thing I wanted to add in is that I know online classes might not be ideal, but right now in the past 3.5 weeks, we've been doing online classes through the dance division. It's amazing how much we've still been able to progress, collaborate, work one-on-one with our professors and stuff. So don't let anxiety over potential delays to the fall semester or anything like that make you nervous, because you will still continue to learn and grow and interact.
Wonderful. That is
also mentioned, sorry for interrupting, Noah, but apropos the online classes, you are all invited, and I know that some of you, I see some names that I know have been taking advantage of that opportunity. So what's kind of fun about our online classes, besides this incredible learning that's still going on, is that we'll have future students, current students, and former students, because every day there are professional dancers that have graduated from our program that are coming back and taking online classes with us. So we've got sort of all these generations going on together, and it's a really rewarding thing as a teacher to see that happening. And I think the students kind of are enjoying that too. So lots of good work being done there.
I see a question on the Q&A regarding scheduling of classes, how, I guess, the mechanics of that. So if you look at our dance curriculum, it's a very prescribed curriculum. So it's set up for the students very easily, where you can look at a semester and say, okay, I have 14 to 18 and a half credits this semester. Those are all my technique and my dance academic and my university curricular requirements that I'm going to register for. So it's mapped out for you. You do have some options to choose from when you're looking at some academic elective courses or university interdisciplinary studies courses. or maybe some dance elective courses. But so you and your advisor would sit together and you would look at your curriculum. This happens every semester. You would actually register, and then if you happen to have a minor in another subject in another college, you would have an advisor in that other college. Okay, so like for dance, we have some dance minors. So I'm their dance advisor, and they might be a physical therapy major or psychology or prosthetics major. So as their dance advisor, I work with their major advisor to design the curriculum and fit in the courses that they need to take in order to graduate with their major and their minor.
Wonderful. And I recognize that that's probably a moving of mountains that happens with every student, right? So thank
Yes,
you for
but
that brilliant work.
oh my God, but our students, for the most part, are very good with time management, and they're really good about communicating with their advisors and their faculty. And what do I need? And I don't know. And it's okay. Well, we're gonna work it out. And like we have a freshman who's a dance minor, and has education as her major. And she was really nervous that she wasn't going to be able to get her dance minor in, but I worked with her advisor or the student success center, and it's fine. We were able to figure things out together. That's another nice collaboration.
Right, academic and otherwise. Yes, Kylie, I think you got something.
Yes. Just to jump on top of that, because I actually just experienced this process recently where 2 weekends ago, I had a conversation with Amy because she's my advisor, and we went through our checklist of all the courses I need to take by the time I graduate and stuff, which are very specific to each semester as a dance major, which is why as a freshman, you come in with your schedule already made for you. As far as take your minor and or minor classes, I then from there say, oh, I have this many credits left in the semester that I can have available to put towards my minor. I have another advisor that I contact in the Barney School for my minor to look through the requirements that I need to finish before I graduate in order to complete my minor. And then you do have more freedom as far as the classes that you want to choose for your minor. As dance majors, a lot of our free space is more the 5 to 7:20 time. So a lot of times if you have a minor, you'll look to take a class for your minor at that time, but you do have more leeway of when you take those classes and semester.
Very, very helpful. I think that we're pretty much caught up on our questions here, and we've got about 5 or so minutes remaining. At this point, if there's no other questions coming up, I wonder if each of you wouldn't mind, just the 45 sort of second-ish, the call to action, the reason why the Hartt School is the right choice for students and those who are eager to experience a really comprehensive program. Whoever wants to jump in, I'd welcome it. Or anything else you'd like to share that you think is important for incoming students to know about.
I will just go back to, I remember when I was picking my dance program, and it was very important to me that I got a liberal arts education. And I didn't know about the Hartt School that is a conservatory within this liberal arts environment. And if I had known about it, it would have been an easy choice to make because I was looking for that professional training, but because my parents wanted it, and I'm also quite a nerd, I wanted that academic side as well. So the Hartt School would have been perfect for me if I knew about it then.
I'd like to say that I graduated in the very first class in 1998. But so I've been here for a long time. I actually transferred into my sophomore year from another school. And what attracted me was the curriculum and the faculty. And it's really been sustained over the years. But once I graduated with my BFA in dance performance, I had a little bit of pedagogy work going on as a student, but I danced with a professional company for a few years. And then I said, you know what, there was really something that excited me and inspired me about teaching and engaging children to learn back when I was a sophomore or junior. And so once I was finished with my brief career, I went back to school at the University of Hartford to get my master's in education. And now I'm working on getting my certification to teach, pre-K eventually. But what's really wonderful about this whole environment at the university and the Hartt School, there's always room to grow. There's always something more to learn, whether you're a student, you're a staff member, or a faculty member. It's just, you're so encouraged to just continually grow as a person and as a learner.
And I'll just quickly, it's the resources are available to you. I mean, they're there, so use them, but they're definitely there.
That's great. I could go on and on with this one. As you can see, everyone's kind of laughing on our Hollywood Squares panel here, because I've been known to talk a lot about this program. But I find that the Hartt School, the dance division especially, is in a really unique position right now, because we're very well known, or becoming very well, we're known and becoming very well known in the professional world, which is why I can pick up the phone and call Pascal and say, look, I've got this student on A who would like to come take class, and he'll go, of course, because he knows us. However, we're not as well known as some of the bigger schools from where you are right now in the high school level. That hasn't trickled down yet. There was an article in a arts journal written about us a couple of years ago that was called us the hidden gem of the dance world, which is very complimentary, but we're slowly erasing that hidden part and just becoming known as a gem of a program. And all the things that we talked about in this conversation today make that so. What makes me so proud of this program is the level of excellence, and how we can model model the program to each individual student that comes in, because we are right sized. We're not too large. Some of these programs that you'll hear much more about are huge schools, and you will be one of several hundred students. Here you will be one of 40 or 50 students. Everyone will know you very well, maybe better than you would like us to. I don't know. But it's that kind of individual attention which helps build your artistry. So we're not trying to make you into a cookie cutter, and yet we're not ignoring you. So we're just leaving you on your own to fend for yourselves. We know each student in this program extremely well, and we're able to challenge them in the ways that they need to be challenged, and we are able to support them in precisely the ways they need to be supported. And we're also knowing the difference between that. How do they need to be challenged? How do they need to be supported? And I think that makes us incredibly unique and incredibly valuable. And the success of our graduates speaks for itself. They're all over the place, and they're doing extremely well.
Yes, Stephen, if I can follow up with that, that was something I wanted to mention as well, was just our graduates that have gone on to do amazing things, and the fact that they keep in touch with us and they come back and visit us, and that we are able to see, I'm sorry, the printer's going off next to me, and we're able to see them grow, not just when they graduate, but see them grow once they have taken flight into their own careers. It's just wonderful to keep in touch with them.
Wonderful. Well, it's really lovely to hear all of our panelists talk about the school. I mean, we see it every day, right? We're experiencing every day here, and sometimes it's nice just to get a little bit of a deeper, a deeper view, and to hear some deeper thoughts about each of these elements of the program. So I've learned a lot just sitting in this session today. So I can't thank our panelists enough. For the folks that are attendees, again, congratulations on your acceptance to the Hartt School and to this dance program. It's wonderful. For those who have deposited, thank you for making this choice. You won't regret it, we'll put it that way. We here at the University of Hartford, we're here to help. And if there's anything that you need from us, we are, we're here. Remotely, albeit maybe from our basements or our bedrooms or our living rooms or wherever we happen to be coming from. We want to make sure that you have everything you need to make the decisions, to answer your questions and to make the decision that you need to make, which ought to be the Hartt School. But beyond that, this is not the only forum. So send those questions in via email. You can call, and messages we do get them via phone as well. So please do be in touch. And I think that really wraps up our session here. I mean, Stephen, as artistic director, is there anything you want to close with?
Come take class with us.
Yes.
You're dancers. Trust your gut. Take a class. You'll experience, even remotely. It's incredible what's happening in these remote classes. These students and the faculty have gone way beyond what I thought was possible. And we'd love to have you to share that with you.
And if you're interested in taking class with us, you can email me. Can I give you my email address right now?
Yes, I'll type it in. Go ahead.
Okay, there we go. It's A Manfredi, AMANFREDI @hartford.edu. And so if you send me an email, I will then respond with the Zoom link to some ballet classes or modern classes. I'll also send you the schedule so you can let me know what you're interested in taking.
Fantastic. So I just sent a note to all of our attendees. You'll see it there, A Manfredi at Hartford. And the call to action, please come take a class, as Stephen says, trust your gut. So once again, a huge, huge thank you to all of the panelists. Again, congratulations to all of our attendees. This is so exciting. And we hope to see you either virtually or walking onto campus, knock on wood, for the start of our fall semester. So yeah, thank you, Stephen, for that. I've got a plastic table in front of me at the moment. So,
solid wood. It's going to happen.
All right. Well, all best to you all. Again, thank you so much. And go Hawks. Take good care, everybody. Thanks again.
Bye.